What's up, guys? Welcome back to
a brand new podcast. We missed you guys last week.
Yeah. What a couple of weeks we had, right?
Yeah, how have you been?
I'm tired and stressed.
Okay, well, I guess that's what we will be discussing in today's podcast.
I think we're going to be touching different points regarding what changes when you have a baby in your relationships, fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Relationships. I think we're gonna kind of, just go through all the things that we feel are different, things that didn't change at all, versus things that are really quite different from the moment Alex was born.
So this podcast is going to be quite different from the podcast that we've been doing. We're gonna be a little bit more serious, I guess, than usual.
Yeah, we'll just talk about and, share our experience in terms of what changes when you have a baby. The moment the baby is in your life, things that you feel are completely different.
Your life changes. So let's go into it.
Absolutely. Let's get started.
Let's go.
All right. I think step number one would be definitely the relationship, because you have you got another human being in the house.
So if you guys have been following me, you guys would know that Alex isn't my first baby, but definitely it's Marco's first baby. For you, I'm sure it would have been a totally different experience because it's your first time to hold a baby in your arms and
absolutely
to see another human being within your home that is actually yours.
Well, I think it's just a great experience. I don't know, you just realize that it's real, the first time you hold your baby. It's just something that you can't really explain. It's a lot of joy. But for me, it was also not stress. But you do feel that, you kind of have a responsibility and you kind of have to make sure that this kid is well. I think you feel that in the relationship, there is already something different happening.
Absolutely.
The moment you bring the baby home, there is already something between, there was something already between us.
The thing that really changed the most between you and me would be time. Obviously, it's time. How do you think it's changed for you? And then I'll say my part. How do you think it's changed in terms of time between you and me?
We are still in the same house, but we don't. Sometimes I had the feeling that I didn't see you for like 3 days.
It's true.
Because you're constantly on, checking on the baby and talking about the baby and thinking about the baby. So I guess the very first thing that changes is the fact that sometimes I have the feeling that we don't spend enough time together. Even though we are in the same house, we work from home, we are together all day long.
We see each other every day.
Yeah.
But, there are just times when, we just literally brush past each other.
Yeah,
even if we're there, it's just a moment, we're just we don't exist. When we had Alex, we lost the time for each other, which we're not complaining about. I think it's completely normal.
And I think it's necessary as well.
Absolutely.
It's priority. Not that, I don't love you anymore.
No.
But it's just like sometimes I look at you and I think, I just had the feeling that I didn't see you for the whole week.
Yeah.
Point number one, let's say relationship. The thing that you realize right away is that you don't have time for yourself, but also for your partner.
So I think that's how couples just grow apart from each other. It's because they don't really know how to balance. I'm not saying that we know how to balance because we're still working on it. But I think that's how some couples just grow apart because for them, losing that time is they just shrug it off okay, she's with a baby, I'm working, who cares, this is how it's going to be.
And maybe they also think that there is something missing in the couple when I think is not really the case.
No.
Sometimes it's just literally you don't have time. There is nothing missing. It's just there is something else. I think
time is very precious, but when you have a baby, it's just your hands are really full. What have we been doing to find the time for each other?
Well, we've been trying to take time off.
Yes.
Just me and my wife. We recently went to Naples for just one night. 1.5 day.
It made a big difference, didn't it?
Yeah.
You
need time. You really need to recharge.
You do.
Right. And you have to just stay away from your baby. Just leave it to someone. And it's not a bad thing to do. It's actually really important because you can switch off and have some fun and, kind of just go back the old days.
It's better that way because if you are on your baby a lot, if you're on your work a lot, and I think in any case, not even just the baby, you get burned out. And when you get burned out, you get upset. And so it's not a happy, you're not in the happy vibe. So turning off from your baby is not a selfish thing. It sounds selfish, but it's not. You really do need time for yourself. You do need time with your husband, because at the end of the day, it's how you guys started. You and your husband, you as a couple. Time is very precious. It's something that we don't always have for each other, but at least we find the time for each other.
So how about sex?
Let's talk about sex. How has sex changed between you and me? Well, obviously, Alex is, 7 months, so obviously we've had sex already. I think that since we don't have the time, sex actually falls into that category as well, in the time.
I think so. It goes a little bit down the drain,
Yeah, it does. I'm sad to say, but, we always, I guess, try and find a way to spice it up.
It's funny because, you can't stop thinking about your baby, even in that moment. We are aware of that. It's not that we don't have passion for each other anymore.
No.
I think it's literally you constantly think about your baby
when
all
we
the
were
time.
in Naples, we were just looking at his pictures.
Oh my God,
and
that was so
talking
sad.
about him.
It made me so sad.
It's just an automatic thing that once you have a child, even sex, it kind of gets in the way. But that's reality. That's how it is now.
But I think it's just part of the journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And as long as you are strong, your couple is strong. Especially, I think the man in the couple. For example, me. I have friends. They feel like they wanna go out. They wanna still experience life before they had a baby. And I think the most important thing is that you just realize that it's just a different moment in your life. As long as you have a strong relationship, then I don't think it's a big deal to kind of have less sex for, I don't know how long it's gonna be, but it's not a big deal if you really think about it.
I feel that that's how sometimes people tend to cheat. Men tend to cheat because they feel that they can't get that sex part from their wife because they're so busy with the baby. So they look for it elsewhere. Yeah, in terms of sex, we, I guess, try to spice things up when we can, but
absolutely. And when you do take a break 100%.
Yeah,
just don't think about it. And if you can, leave the baby to your grandparents and just take a moment, even if it's just one day. I think spending one night out where you have a full night of sleep, you have some fun as well, you spend a day out, drinking as well, kind of do stuff that you used to do before. These are probably the two things that kind of changed the most, because I don't think our finances has changed.
I don't know what to say about that because Marco is the one working, he's the one handling the finances. What do you think?
Well, of course we do spend a little bit more money because we have to go to buy grocery for ourselves, but now we also have to buy it for Alex. Finances, I don't think it's a massive deal. I don't feel that we are struggling because
Thank
he
God.
needs stuff. Absolutely not.
Yeah. So finance-wise, we are good. That didn't really change between us.
One thing that I think changed a lot is just the energy level that I used to have before compared to now.
Absolutely.
I think I am tired all the time. We didn't have one full night of sleep in 7.5 months.
And I told Marco, once you have a kid, you will never get it back. It's just never gonna happen, no matter how old the kid will be. So once you have a kid, you'll never sleep again straight. So yeah, you feel tired?
I do.
You do.
I do. No, but it's you gotta work, and then of course you want to spend time with him, which I'm really lucky because I can take a break and pick him up and spend 10 minutes with him, and then I can go back to work. But sometimes I'm just way too tired,
exhausted,
and I don't usually take breaks. I work 6 days a week, and plus now we have a baby. So I guess one thing that I feel that changed a lot is the energy level, at least for me.
Yeah.
Which of course affects the couple as well in terms of time that we spend together.
It's all just connected. Time, sex, relationship. For me, I guess my energy level, you notice that there are days when, I have bad days, there are days when I'm okay, and there are days when I'm really, really bad. For me, my energy level really depends on Alex. Everything depends on him. If he sleeps good, I sleep good. If he doesn't sleep good, I don't sleep good. Most of the time, I am tired, and I tell you guys on my Instagram story how exhausted.
It's crazy.
It's very, very exhausting. And we mentioned this in our vlogs and our podcast that it's my first time as a mom again because I'm I'm on him 24/7, whereas before with my kids, I was working. It may sound selfish to say, but for me, to be working outside of your home and earning money is a lot better than to be on your baby 24/7, because being on your baby 24/7 is very exhausting. It's more exhausting, and that's what I'm just trying to say. I'm not saying that I'd rather work because, I don't want to be with my baby. It's about the exhaustion that you feel. Like, you don't feel as exhausted when you're in the office, because in the office, you can take breaks. With a baby, you can't do that. You only take a break when he's asleep. But not even, because when he's asleep, you'd rather, clean the house. You'd rather wash the dishes. And as soon as you sit down, this is what usually happens to me, is that as soon as I sit down after cleaning, Alex wakes up. You never really find the time for yourself. I never really find the time for myself.
Well, I guess this is how it's going to be for next
while.
couple of years, I guess.
Yeah, and it's all part of the journey. How do you think, though, we've changed individually ever since we had Alex, for you?
Well, I do feel that I am kind of not more mature. I just feel that I am more focused on everything that I do. Like before, I didn't really plan that much the week. I would, just record stuff for my business
go with the flow.
Exactly, go with the flow. Now, I like to spend, for example, like the Saturday, I want to organize everything for the upcoming week. So I think I became more organized because I know that first of all, anything can happen. Last week, Alex fell off the bed.
Yeah.
And so we wasted the whole day. Good thing he was fine. But, you never know with the baby. There are things that can happen all of a sudden. I have someone helping me now. I hired someone helping me with the videos as well, which I think is a great thing. So I kind of woke up from this, I got to do everything myself and blah, 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 into something that is a little bit more of, I need some help. And I have to have everything organized. Like,
you feel that there's growth now in what you do in terms of your work and your business.
Absolutely.
Which is a good thing. It's a very positive thing.
It's such a different way of thinking when you have a baby. It's just everything changes immediately, because everything that you do from the moment you have a baby, it's for the baby.
Everything
it's
is
even
for the baby,
even your work. Of course, you do it because you love it, but it's still you want to make sure that you provide for your baby.
Absolutely.
Because we can starve, but I will feel so guilty if my baby starves. How about you?
Me, I feel that, how has it changed me? That's actually a good question. I feel that, I know it may sound bad, but sometimes I feel that I am too hard on myself sometimes. Sometimes I feel that it's just never enough. Like, the day is just never enough to get things done. And then when you think about it, when you constantly think about the things that you have to do in a day, at the end of it, you don't do anything because you just end up just thinking. I feel that it's made me more anxious. I've never felt so anxious in my life.
You were never anxious. I was always the anxious one in the couple.
But now I am more anxious than Marco, especially when I'm nearing my period. My goodness, my anxiety level just shoots up, and I have no idea why.
You are also moody, way more moody than usual.
Way moody. And I think it's because, I'm tired, I'm exhausted.
It makes sense, babe,
I mean, I'm not saying that I'm always like this. It's part of it. It's part of motherhood. It's exhausting. It's very exhausting, but it's also a wonderful feeling. It's sad to say that it's changed me kind of in a negative way, because I feel that we always want to provide for our kids in the best way that we can. And sometimes I feel that I'm not reaching it. Sometimes I feel that I'm not doing the right thing. And then you stress about it. When you stress about it, you get anxiety. When you get anxiety, you feel tired. When you feel tired, you get grumpy. It's all just full of negativity. So I'm just trying my best to, I guess, to work on myself as well. Me and Marco have talked about it. I introduced him to this book. I don't know if you started reading it or not.
Not yet.
The Untethered Soul. It's very, very deep. It's a very, very deep book. It's a book where you can just find the inner peace within yourself and serenity.
Because I think it shows you how your brain works in a way. The thinking mind and the fact that sometimes you just gotta live in the moment, forget about
the worries.
Exactly. And, all your thinking.
All the
just
what
stop
ifs.
for a moment, take a deep breath, and just
live the
think
moment.
that you're going to be okay. And if you really have something in that moment going wrong or bad, you take actions. Otherwise, if there is no threat, you just don't stress about it.
Yeah. Me and Marco, we're kind of the same because we tend to overthink.
I do it more than you, though.
But I feel that I'm in that same boat now. And it's
You're
not because
getting
of
there.
you. It's not because of you. It's because of the situation. And I don't want to say it like in a negative way that I'm not enjoying motherhood. It's just that I'm trying to find a way to balance things out, where I can be myself, where I can be a good wife, and where I can be a good mother.
I think you're doing absolutely great.
I think that's how
you're doing absolutely great. Sometimes I
individually.
look at you and I think that you do way more than me, which is true.
And sometimes I also feel that I want to participate in buying things. Mean to say that I also want to work, but then you can't work because you have a baby. You want to work part-time, but then you think, what if the baby cries? How are you going to, so many things that you want to do that you just can't because you're tied down because of your baby, which I'm not complaining about. That's how a baby has changed us.
So how would you wrap this up?
I would want to say that if you are a mother or if you're going to be a mother, just try not to be so hard on yourself. If there was something that I could say to myself when I was pregnant with Alex, I would say to take it easy and don't be so hard on yourself. Motherhood is hard. Don't expect it to be easy, and just to take things slow.
Just embrace the change.
Embrace the change. Exactly. Hashtag embrace the change. Embrace the change. It's a very, very serious podcast.
Yeah, because I am tired and I don't want to do anything funny, to be honest.
Sometimes, man, I remember when Alex was a newborn, Marco and I couldn't even talk to each other. We couldn't even have a conversation. And it was so sad. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is it. Our relationship is going to go down the drain from here. And I do not know how we're going to balance things out. But here we are. Here we still are.
And I think we're going to be here for a while.
We will. Definitely.
Absolutely, man.
Until the day we die.
This sounds like a long time.
And I think it's time to wrap up. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely, because I need to keep doing what I'm doing.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. Sorry if we didn't laugh. Sorry if it was a little bit serious. But, we got to talk about these things as well. We shall see you guys
next time
on the next video. Goodbye for now.
Have a nice day, people.
Bye.